No, please, leave them in, the alien warrior cried, but the human soldier had no choice. From orbit, the human shippy just looked like a tiny pearl against the vast, vibrant expanse. Inside the control room, Captain Mara Ellis studied the readings with quiet concentration. Her team had been sent to Lyra to explore its mysterious forests and floating rock formations, an uncharted world, promising knowledge and perhaps allies among the planet's intelligent life forms. "This place is incredible," whispered Lieutenant Ravi, her communications officer, his eyes wide as holographic projections of the terrain danced in front of him. "I've never seen gravity behave like this. The rocks, they're floating." Mara nodded, her gaze steady. "Beautiful, yes, but stay alert. Planetary readings show signs of intelligent life. We don't know how they'll react to humans." Her voice was calm, but inside she felt the familiar excitement that always came with first contact missions. The shuttle descended slowly, guided by Mara's precise commands. As the ground grew closer, the team saw towering trees with crystalline leaves, glowing faintly in the soft light. Strange plants with translucent stems waved gently, as if sensing the approaching humans. The air smelled fresh and metallic, a mix Mara had never experienced on Earth. "Landing in 3, 2, 1, Ravi announced. The shuttle touched down on a soft, moss-like surface that seemed to pulse under their feet. The doors opened with a hiss, revealing the forest in full splendor. Mara led her team out. The alien world was silent except for the soft hum of unseen energy. They moved carefully, scanning the area with portable sensors. "No immediate threats," Mara reported. "Let's begin our survey." As they walked deeper into the forest, the landscape changed. The ground rose in strange slopes, and massive rocks hovered several meters above the moss, held in place by unknown forces. Mara's sensors detected faint energy signatures ahead, fluctuating pulses that suggested life. "Could be native animals," Ravi said, pointing to a shimmering form between the trees. But Mara's instincts told her it was more than that. They followed the signals until they reached a narrow canyon. What they saw made them stop in awe. A group of alien beings were trapped beneath a collapsed structure of glowing crystal. Their forms were humanoid, with elongated limbs and eyes that shone like liquid amber. The largest of them, evidently a leader, raised his arm weakly. "No, please, leave them in," the alien cried, his voice echoing strangely in their minds. It was not sound in the human sense, but a direct message carried through some unknown medium. Mara froze. The aliens' situation was critical. The crystals pressed down on their bodies, yet the leader pleaded for restraint. Mara felt a wave of confusion. The human instinct was clear: rescue them immediately, yet the aliens' plea suggested danger. "Captain, what do we do?" Ravi asked, scanning the readings nervously. Mara knelt beside her console, studying the energy patterns. The crystals were not just debris, they were part of the planet's ecosystem, linked to an intricate network beneath the ground. Moving them recklessly could destabilize the canyon and possibly trigger a larger collapse. I don't know," Mara admitted, her brow furrowed. "They're alive, but something about this structure, it's not just rubble. We need to understand it first." The alien leader, struggling under the weight of the crystals, projected his thoughts again. "Trust me. If you take them out now, everything will fall." Mara exchanged a glance with her team. Ravi, always practical, suggested, "We could try stabilizing the crystals before moving them. Some temporary support beams, maybe." Mara nodded slowly. "Good idea. Let's see what we can do." She activated a small drone from her pack. It hovered above the structure, scanning the connections between the crystals and the ground. The readings were complex energy flows intertwined in a delicate balance. One wrong move could be catastrophic. "Captain," said Dr. Elena Ford, their xenobiologist, "these beings, they're unlike anything we've seen. Their bodies seem connected to the energy network itself. Maybe that's why the leader doesn't want us to move them." Mara thought carefully. Every action had consequences. Humans often acted with strength and speed, but sometimes intelligence and patience were more powerful. She remembered the mission briefing. First contact is diplomacy, observation, and understanding. "We'll stabilize first," she said firmly. "Then we'll find a way to help without harming them or the planet." The aliens watched silently, their amber eyes glowing faintly in what seemed like relief. The leader, Xyler, projected a message that Mara interpreted through her translator device. "Thank you. Your wisdom may save more than just us." The human team worked together. They deployed support drones and created a network of energy beams to hold the crystals in place. Every adjustment had to be slow and precise. The forest seemed to pulse around them, responding to their careful movements. Hours passed. The team's patience and skill were tested as small tremors shook the ground. One beam shifted too quickly, and a small crystal fragment slid dangerously close to the trapped aliens. Mara reacted instantly, recalibrating the drone's balance. The fragment stopped just before it could fall. Xyler and the others remained calm, communicating with the humans in flashes of thought. Mara realized they were guiding her team subtly, like teachers showing students the right touch. Despite their alien form, the beings showed trust in the humans' intelligence and care. Finally, the structure stabilized. The trapped aliens were no longer under immediate threat. Xyler raised his hand in gratitude, sending a ripple of warm energy through Mara's mind. It was unlike any human sensation, a blend of relief, connection, and hope. "Captain," Ravi whispered, "they're alive and stable." "We did it," Mara smiled, feeling the deep satisfaction that came not from strength, but from restraint and understanding. She knelt, looking at Xyler. "We helped you, but I need to understand, why were you so afraid of being freed?" Xyler's reply came slowly, almost as if the words were heavy. "Our connection to the crystals, if disrupted too quickly, the energy could collapse. The forest, the canyon, even our lives, everything is linked. You humans think with force, but we live with balance." Mara nodded. "Balance that makes sense. I've always thought humans needed to be stronger, faster, better. But sometimes, it's the careful mind that saves lives." As the sun began to set on Lyra, casting long silver shadows across the mossy ground, Myra and her team took a moment to rest. The alien beings remained calm, and for the first time, Mara felt a true understanding of another species' perspective. They were not enemies nor strangers. They were partners in survival and wisdom. That night, Mara wrote in her log, "Today we learned something invaluable. Humanity's strength is not just in power or technology. It is in thoughtfulness, patience, and the courage to do what is right, even when instinct urges otherwise." The forest around them hummed softly, as if acknowledging her words. Stars shone brighter than ever in Lyra's sky, and Mara felt a connection to both her crew and the alien beings she had vowed to protect. Tomorrow, the real challenge would begin, building trust and learning from one another. But tonight, there was only peace. And somewhere deep inside her, Mara knew that this encounter was the beginning of something extraordinary, a bond between species that could reshape the future of the galaxy. The forest of planet Lyra was alive in ways humans could barely comprehend. The floating rocks shimmered in the soft sunlight, and the crystalline trees hummed a quiet, almost musical note as the energy pulses from the trapped aliens stabilized. Captain Mara Ellis and her team had achieved what many would have thought impossible. They had preserved life without disturbing the delicate balance of the alien world. But as they rested near the edge of the canyon, Mara felt the weight of a larger question pressing on her mind. Xyler, the alien leader, had been clear. Removing the aliens from the crystal network could be catastrophic. Yet humans were trained to act, to save lives immediately when possible. The moral dilemma gnawed at her. "Captain, Doctor." Elena Ford said quietly, kneeling beside Mara, "They are safe for now. But the readings show their connection to the energy network is fragile. One misstep and—" She let the sentence hang, her expression grim. Mara nodded slowly. "I know. That's why we have to think carefully before doing anything else. Our instinct says rescue, but their world, it doesn't work that way." Lieutenant Ravi, ever the pragmatist, scratched his head. "So what exactly do we do? Do we just leave them here and hope nothing goes wrong?" "Not hope," Mara said firmly. "Understand, observe, and if possible, help in a way that doesn't harm them or the planet." Xyler, sensing the humans' conversation, projected a thought that Mara's translator picked up. "You humans are strange. You can destroy in seconds, yet hesitate to move with caution. Perhaps that hesitation is a strength." Mara felt a shiver of understanding. The aliens' words were not a threat, they were recognition. Humans often measured success by speed and power, but here, thoughtfulness was the key to survival. The team spent the next few hours analyzing the energy readings from the trapped aliens and the surrounding environment. The patterns were complex, almost like a living puzzle. The crystal structures weren't just obstacles. They were conduits for energy that supported life throughout the canyon. Moving the aliens too quickly could disrupt the flow, causing a collapse that might extend far beyond what the humans could see. "Captain," Ravi said finally, "there has to be a way to save them without upsetting the balance. Maybe we can use our drones differently, support the crystals from below instead of lifting them out." Mara smiled at the suggestion. "Good thinking. Let's develop a plan." But even as they worked, doubts crept in. What if the aliens were wrong? What if inaction caused harm they could have prevented? Myra realized that sometimes the hardest decisions were the ones where there were no clear answers, where right and wrong were entwined. Xyler floated closer to the humans, projecting another thought. "Our kind has lived with this network for centuries. We know it better than any outsider. Trust in patience. It is difficult but necessary." Mara nodded, acknowledging the wisdom. Patience, humans could learn a lot from that. The team began experimenting. They used drones to reinforce the crystals and created small energy barriers to hold the structures in place. Every movement was calculated, tested with simulations before actual implementation. Mara watched closely as each adjustment caused subtle changes in the energy network, learning from the feedback in real time. Hours passed. The sun began to sink behind the floating rocks, casting long shadows over the canyon. Mara noticed Xyler observing them carefully, his amber eyes glowing faintly. It was as if he were measuring whether humans truly understood the concept of careful intervention. Dr. Ford leaned over Mara's shoulder. "Look at this, Captain. The energy readings are stabilizing. If we maintain this support system, the aliens could remain in place indefinitely without harm." Mara nodded thoughtfully. "Then we need to make sure it lasts. Not just for hours, but for days, until they regain strength and adapt further." Meanwhile, Ravi was busy programming the drones for continuous operation. "I'm setting up a system where the drones can adjust themselves automatically based on the energy readings. That way, even if we leave, the balance is maintained." Xyler's projection came again, softer this time. "You humans are resourceful. That is admirable. You use tools not just to overpower, but to sustain. Few in our galaxy possess this ability." Myra felt pride, but also humility. Humans were capable of incredible things, yet here on Lyra, they were learning that intelligence and caution were just as important as strength. Night fell, and the canyon was bathed in silver light. The air was calm, almost reverent, as if the planet itself was watching. The trapped aliens remained still, their energy flows synchronized with the reinforced crystals. It was a strange sight. Beings alive and connected, yet not free in the human sense. Mara took a deep breath. "Tomorrow we'll continue monitoring, and perhaps we can learn more about their network. Maybe there's a way to help them thrive without removing them entirely." Dr. Ford smiled. "This is unlike anything I've ever studied. Their biology, their connection to the environment, it's beautiful, and so different from Earth." Ravi nodded. "I still don't fully understand it, but I get the sense that sometimes helping doesn't mean moving someone. Sometimes it's about supporting the system around them." Mara felt a quiet satisfaction. That was the essence of this moral dilemma, realizing that rescue wasn't always a physical act. Sometimes it was patience, understanding, and clever thinking that truly saved lives. In the middle of the night, Mara walked alone to the edge of the canyon. The stars shone brightly, reflecting off the floating rocks and crystalline trees. She could sense Xyler watching her, projecting a gentle thought. "You are learning. That is what makes humans extraordinary." Mara smiled. "Thank you, Xyler. We are learning from you, from this planet, from the choices we make." Back at the camp, the drones hummed softly, maintaining the delicate balance. Mara and her team rested, but sleep was light. The human mind was never still when faced with something so new, so intricate. They dreamed not of danger, but of understanding, of the possibilities of cooperation across worlds. As dawn broke over Lyra, a new realization settled in Mara's mind. Humans often thought of themselves as powerful because of technology, speed, or strength. But here, on this distant planet, it was their ability to reason, to adapt, and to make difficult ethical choices that truly shone. "Captain," Ravi said, joining her at the canyon's edge, "do you think they trust us now?" Mara looked at Xyler and the others, their forms glowing faintly in the morning light. "I think they do. Trust is not given lightly, it must be earned. And we are earning it not with force, but with thoughtfulness." Dr. Ford joined them, holding a small scanner. The energy network is stable. For now, the aliens are safe, and perhaps they will teach us more about this delicate balance. Mara nodded. Then we continue observing. Learning, helping where we can without overstepping. That is our duty here, not to conquer, but to understand and preserve. Xyler projected a final thought before the humans returned to their camp. You humans are extraordinary, not for what you can destroy, but for what you choose to protect. Mara felt a warmth in her chest. This was the essence of humanity: compassion, intelligence, and the courage to make hard choices. In the quiet, humming forest of Lyra, she realized that humans had the potential to inspire other species, not with weapons, but with wisdom and care. The day ahead promised challenges, questions, and discoveries. But for now, as the sun rose over the floating rocks and glowing trees, Mara and her team felt a deep sense of purpose. They were not just explorers, they were ambassadors of thought, patience, and humanity itself. And somewhere in the canyon, Xyler and his people watched, hopeful that this strange species from across the stars would prove themselves worthy of trust, partnership, and friendship. The morning sun cast long, sparkling beams across the floating rocks of Lyra. Captain Mara Ellis stood at the edge of the canyon, her eyes scanning the stabilized energy network that held the trapped aliens safely in place. The forest was alive with gentle hums, the sound of life flowing through crystal trees and mossy ground alike. For Mara, it was a moment of calm, but beneath the serenity, her mind raced with questions. How do we help them further without disrupting their world? She asked herself. The answer was not simple. Humans were problem solvers by nature. They wanted to act, to fix things immediately. But Lyra was different. Here, action had consequences beyond what they could see. Every step, every touch, every movement of energy could ripple through the canyon in ways that were unpredictable. Dr. Alina Ford approached, holding a portable holographic display. Captain, I've been analyzing the network. It's more complex than we thought. The energy flows from the crystals are connected to the alien physiology. They are literally part of the environment. Moving them without caution could destabilize the entire canyon. Mara nodded, absorbing the information. So we can't remove them, but we can stabilize. We've done that part. Now we need to find a way to help them thrive without touching the network directly. Lieutenant Ravi, always eager to find practical solutions, stepped forward. We could combine our tech with their knowledge. Xyler seems to understand the energy flows intuitively. Maybe we can work together to create a support system that's sustainable, self-adjusting, and safe for them. Mara's eyes brightened. Yes, that's the approach. Collaboration instead of interference. Let's talk to Xyler and see if he can guide us. Xyler emerged from the crystal structures, his amber eyes glowing faintly. He projected a thought to Mara. We can teach you if you are willing to learn. Your technology can help, but only if guided by patience and understanding. Mara responded mentally as her translator allowed. We are ready to learn. We want to help without harm. Teach us how to act carefully. The alien leader smiled, or at least Mara thought it was a smile, a gentle rising of the corners of his features. The connection between them felt deeper than words. Mara realized that on Lyra, communication was not just about language, it was about understanding intent, thought, and energy. For the next several hours, the humans and aliens worked together. Xyler guided the team with precise mental instructions, showing them where energy flows were strongest, where the network was fragile, and how to adjust the drones to support it. The humans adapted quickly, combining their technical knowledge with Xyler's innate understanding. Mara watched as a small drone hovered over a crystal, its sensors measuring subtle energy pulses. With Xyler's guidance, the drone adjusted its stabilizers, reinforcing the structure without touching the alien inside. Mara felt a sense of awe, technology, and life working in harmony, guided by intelligence and empathy. Captain, Dr. Ford said, look at this. The network is adapting to the drone's presence. The energy pulses are stabilizing even more than before. If we continue, we might create a system that doesn't just maintain life, it enhances it safely. Mara's heart lifted. This was the moment she had hoped for, a solution that preserved the delicate balance, respected alien life, and allowed humans to contribute meaningfully. Then we continue, slowly, carefully, step by step. Hours passed. The humans adjusted, recalibrated, and tested every part of their plan. Small tremors occasionally rattled the canyon, reminding them that the network was still sensitive. One drone misaligned for a moment, and a crystal shard tilted dangerously. Mara reacted instantly, issuing commands to stabilize it. The aliens, sensing the humans' care, remained calm, their trust growing. By mid-afternoon, a pattern emerged. The drones, combined with Xyler's guidance, created a semi-autonomous support system. The energy network flowed smoothly, adjusting to small changes naturally. Mara and her team stepped back to observe the results. The aliens were still connected to the network but no longer under immediate threat. They could move slightly, breathe freely, and rest safely. Xyler floated closer, projecting a thought of approval. You have learned quickly. Few outsiders can balance care and action. Your species shows potential beyond simple strength. Mara felt a mixture of pride and humility. It's not strength that matters here, she replied mentally, but thoughtfulness, patience, and respect for life. Ravi leaned on a nearby rock, exhausted but exhilarated. I never thought I'd say this, but using our tech this way feels right. We're helping without taking over. It's like the aliens and us are partners. Yes, Mara said. That is exactly what this is. Partnership, not domination. Understanding, not interference. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the canyon, Mara noticed Xyler watching her intently. He projected a thought that resonated deeply. Your species can achieve much if it learns the value of patience and observation. Force is not always the answer. Mara smiled, realizing the truth of his words. Humans had always relied on tools, speed, and power, but here, on Lyra, intelligence and empathy mattered more. It was a lesson she would carry forever. The team set up a small base near the canyon, using portable shelters that minimized disruption to the environment. Drones operated continuously, maintaining the support network. Mara and her team took turns monitoring energy flows, ensuring stability and observing alien behavior. During a quiet moment, Dr. Ford approached Mara. Do you think they'll ever fully trust us? Humans are different. We act quickly, sometimes without thinking. But today, we worked with them, not against them. Maybe that makes a difference. Mara looked at the aliens, who floated calmly, connected to the energy network but at ease. Trust isn't instant, she said softly, but we've earned a beginning. Today, we proved that humans can choose understanding over force. That's a start. Evening came, and the floating rocks glowed with bioluminescent light. The aliens' amber eyes reflected the gentle shimmer, their forms calm and serene. Mara felt a deep sense of connection, not just with Xyler and his people, but with the planet itself. Lyra was alive in a way humans rarely experienced, and they were now part of its rhythm. Ravi broke the silence. Captain, we've done more than stabilize the network. We've built something that can last. That's extraordinary. Yes, Mara said, feeling the truth of the statement. It is extraordinary, and it's proof that humans are capable of more than force. Thoughtfulness, patience, intelligence, these are our true strengths. As night fully settled, Mara sat quietly, watching the stars above Lyra. She could feel the subtle hum of the planet's energy, the steady pulse of life flowing through crystals, trees, and the aliens themselves. It was a reminder that every action had consequences and every choice mattered. Xyler floated nearby, projecting a final thought for the day. You have learned. Today, you acted wisely. Tomorrow, we continue, and perhaps together we can achieve more than either species alone. Mara nodded silently. She knew the journey was far from over. There would be more challenges, more questions, and more opportunities to test human ingenuity and compassion. But for now, she allowed herself a moment of quiet satisfaction. Humans had shown that intelligence and morality could solve problems that strength alone could not. As she returned to the camp, Mara made a mental note. Tomorrow, we deepen the collaboration. We learn more from them, and they from us. This is how humans will leave a mark, not by conquering, but by understanding and supporting life wherever it exists. In the heart of Lyra's forest, the canyon hummed gently. The trapped aliens rested, the energy network flowed, and humans and aliens began a partnership that promised hope, learning, and mutual respect. It was a rare and beautiful beginning, one that showed that even in the farthest reaches of space, humanity's true power lay not in dominance, but in wisdom and care. And somewhere deep inside Mara, a quiet thought settled, stronger than any fear or doubt. This was only the beginning of a remarkable story, a story where humans could shine by choosing the right path, even when it was the hardest one to take. The dawn light spread over the forest. Of Lyra like liquid gold, illuminating the floating rocks and the crystalline trees. The canyon hummed softly, a reminder of the delicate energy network flowing through its structures. Captain Mara Ellis and her team awoke with a renewed sense of purpose. Today was not about experimenting or planning. It was about understanding, observing, and ensuring that the work they had started continued successfully. Mara stepped to the edge of the canyon, taking in the sight. The trapped aliens were resting within the crystal structures, their amber eyes slowly opening and closing as energy flowed safely through their bodies. Xyler floated gracefully above the network, projecting a sense of calm that reassured the humans. Mara smiled. The morning air felt alive, vibrant, and full of promise. "Captain," Ravi said, approaching her with a portable monitor, "all the drones are functioning perfectly. The energy network is stable and the aliens' vital readings are steady. I think we did it." Mara nodded, but she didn't celebrate just yet. "It's stable, yes, but we must ensure it stays that way. Lyra is alive, we are guests here, and we must act responsibly." Dr. Alina Ford joined them, holding a small scanner. "I've been studying the energy network in more detail. There are patterns we didn't notice yesterday, subtle feedback loops that the aliens seem to control instinctively. With our drones, we can enhance stability without interfering with their natural system." Mara looked at the scanner and then at Xyler. "If we continue working together, we can make this network safer for them while respecting the planet's balance. Can you guide us?" Xyler's amber eyes glowed warmly, and his projection came clearly to Mara. "Yes, you are learning what few outsiders understand. Together we can strengthen the connection, ensuring life flows freely for all who depend on it." The humans moved carefully, guided by Xyler's instructions. Drones adjusted energy fields, shifting slightly to support weak points in the network. Each movement was deliberate, tested by simulation before execution. The aliens observed calmly, sometimes projecting small thoughts of encouragement to the humans, a silent way of showing trust. Hours passed, and small successes built confidence. A section of the crystal network that had seemed unstable now flowed smoothly, and the trapped aliens were able to stretch and move slightly, testing their renewed strength. Mara's team cheered quietly. This was a victory not of power, but of understanding. During a brief pause, Mara projected a thought to Xyler. "Your species has such a deep connection to this planet. How did you learn to live in harmony with it?" Xyler's response was almost poetic. "Our kind does not see the world as separate from ourselves. The energy flows through all of us and we flow with it. Humans can learn to see connections beyond what is visible. You have begun to understand this today." Mara felt a sense of awe. Humans had always relied on strength and speed. Here on Lyra, the true challenge was understanding, the ability to see the invisible threads that connected life, energy, and environment. By midday, the energy network was not only stable, it was thriving. The drones maintained the balance, but Xyler and his people had begun to adapt as well, subtly adjusting their own energy flows to harmonize with the support systems the humans had implemented. It was a remarkable dance of technology and biology, human and alien working together toward a common goal. Dr. Ford smiled as she monitored the readings. "It's incredible. The network is stronger than it was before. The aliens are comfortable and the energy flows have even increased efficiency. They are safer and healthier than when we arrived." Ravi nodded. "It's amazing, and the best part, we didn't interfere, we didn't try to take control, we just supported. It's like we were part of the system, not above it." Mara felt a deep sense of pride and humility. This was what she had hoped for, a solution that respected life and intelligence. She turned to Xyler, who floated gracefully above the canyon. "We are grateful for your guidance," she projected. "Without your wisdom, we would have caused harm instead of helping." Xyler's response was gentle. "You have earned understanding through patience and thoughtfulness. Few outsiders are capable of this. Humanity has the potential to be a force for harmony, not just power." As the afternoon sunlight poured through the floating rocks, the humans and aliens continued to work together. Small adjustments were made, energy flows fine-tuned, and the trapped aliens tested their movement gradually. Each step was careful, each decision deliberate. Mara realized that in this collaboration, humans were learning a truth that extended far beyond Lyra. Intelligence, patience, and morality could accomplish what force alone never could. Finally, as the sun began to set, the canyon was fully stabilized. The trapped aliens were free to move within their environment safely, no longer restricted or in danger. Xyler projected a thought of profound satisfaction. You have succeeded. Today, you did not just help. We have created a lasting solution together. Mara felt a wave of relief and pride. We did it, she whispered, though the words felt small compared to the achievement. Not victory in battle, not conquest, but understanding and preservation. That was the human triumph here. Ravi laughed softly. I never imagined a mission could feel like this. We didn't fight, we didn't destroy, and yet it feels like we've accomplished something incredible. Yes, Mara said. Sometimes the hardest victories are the ones where you have to hold back, think carefully, and work with others instead of against them. Dr. Ford approached Mara, her expression thoughtful. The aliens will remember this. They'll see humans as capable allies. And perhaps this will pave the way for future cooperation, not just here but across other worlds we encounter. Mara nodded. That's the goal. Humans are not just explorers. We can be partners, friends, and protectors when we choose understanding over force. The sky darkened, and Lyra's forest shimmered with the soft glow of bioluminescent light. The canyon hummed a peaceful rhythm, the energy network flowing steadily, alive with life. The trapped aliens rested, free from danger, and the humans took a quiet moment to reflect. Xyler floated near Mara, projecting one last thought for the day. Trust has been earned. Collaboration has succeeded. You humans show wisdom and care. This is the beginning of a partnership that may benefit both our species for centuries to come. Mara smiled, feeling the weight and significance of the words. It is only the beginning, she projected back. We still have much to learn from each other, and we will continue together. As night fell over the canyon, Mara and her team prepared for rest. The drones continued their work automatically, maintaining the energy network, while the aliens adapted to their renewed freedom. The forest pulsed gently, alive and harmonious, a symbol of the partnership forged through patience, intelligence, and empathy. Lying in her small shelter, Mara reflected on the events of the day. Humans often measured greatness by conquest, speed, or strength. But here on Lyra, the lesson was clear. True greatness lay in understanding, in the courage to make difficult ethical choices, and in the ability to work together for the benefit of all. She closed her eyes and thought of the stars above, thinking of the endless possibilities that awaited humanity among the stars. Here, humans had proven that their true power was not in weapons or force, but in their mind, their heart, and their ability to choose the right path. Somewhere deep in the canyon, Xyler and his people rested as well, their forms glowing softly, peaceful, and unharmed. And in that quiet moment, Mara realized something profound. Humans had the capacity to inspire trust and friendship across the galaxy, not through dominance, but through wisdom, compassion, and partnership. Tomorrow would bring new lessons, new challenges, and new opportunities to strengthen this fragile but powerful alliance. But for now, in the calm light of Lyra's bioluminescent forest, humans and aliens alike experienced a shared sense of achievement, hope, and possibility. And Mara knew, deep in her heart, that this was the kind of story that would be remembered, not for battles fought, but for choices made, understanding earned, and life preserved through intelligence, care, and courage. The morning on Lyra was quiet, almost serene. Sunlight filtered through the floating rocks and crystalline trees, casting a gentle glow over the canyon. Captain Mara Ellis stood at the edge, looking down at the network of energy that now flowed steadily through the crystal structures. The trapped aliens were no longer trapped. They moved slowly, testing their renewed freedom, their amber eyes calm and trusting. Mara's team had worked tirelessly for days, observing, learning, and maintaining the delicate balance. Now they could finally take a step back and reflect on what they had achieved. Captain, Ravi said softly, standing beside her, I can't believe how far we've come. We started unsure, worried about causing harm, and now look at them. They're thriving. Mara nodded. Yes, and it wasn't just our technology that made this possible. It was our willingness to understand, to listen, and to work with them instead of trying to control. That's what made the difference. Dr. Alina Ford joined them, her portable scanner humming softly. I've been monitoring the energy network for hours. It's stable. The aliens are safe, and what's more impressive, the network seems to have strengthened, not weakened. They've adapted, and our support has enhanced the balance without disrupting it. Mara allowed herself a quiet smile. That's remarkable. Humans often measure success by speed or power, But today we've learned that patience, empathy, and careful thought can achieve far more. Xyler floated near them, projecting a calm, glowing aura. His amber eyes met Mara's, and she felt the depth of his understanding. You have done more than preserve life, he projected. You have proven that your species is capable of wisdom and care. You are not just explorers, you are partners. Mara projected a reply through the translator device. We are grateful for your guidance. Without it, we could have caused harm instead of helping. Xyler's presence radiated quiet approval. Trust has been earned, Captain. Today, humanity showed that intelligence and morality can work in harmony with life. The team spent the day performing final adjustments. Small drones continued their work, gently reinforcing weaker points in the crystal network. The aliens, now free to move within their environment, communicated in subtle ways, projecting thoughts of appreciation and calm. Mara realized that this was more than a partnership. It was a bond built on respect and understanding. During a quiet moment, Mara approached Xyler directly. I want to understand more, she projected. How do you maintain balance with the planet? How can humans learn to do the same? Xyler's response was thoughtful. Observe, listen, do not impose. Life is a network of connections. Humans often act with force. Learn to act with thought, to adjust gently, to respect the flow. That is how harmony is achieved. Mara nodded, absorbing the wisdom. Humans had always valued action and results, but here the lesson was different. Intelligence was not just solving problems. It was knowing which problems required careful intervention and which required patience. As the sun began to set, casting long silver and purple shadows across the forest, Mara gathered her team. We've done something extraordinary, she said softly. Not by force, not by speed, but by understanding. This is the kind of human achievement that truly matters, not just exploration, but wisdom, empathy, and the courage to make the right choice. Ravi grinned. I think Lyra will remember us, and I hope other species will too. This is humanity at its best. Dr. Ford nodded. They will, and more importantly, we will carry this lesson with us. We've seen what humans can achieve when we combine intelligence with morality. The alien community, led by Xyler, gathered together near the crystal network. Their movements were calm and purposeful, a silent display of life thriving in harmony with their environment. Mara observed them, realizing that they were not just aliens to be studied. They were teachers, guiding humans to a deeper understanding of life and connection. Xyler projected a final thought as the night approached. You have proven your worth, Captain. Humanity's greatest strength lies not in domination, but in thought, in empathy, and in courage to choose wisely. Remember this lesson as you explore the stars. Mara felt a warmth in her chest. This was the moment she had hoped for, not just a successful mission, but a demonstration of human potential. Humans could shine, not through weapons or strength, but through intelligence, morality, and cooperation. As the humans prepared to leave Lyra, they made careful arrangements. The drones were left to maintain the energy network, and the aliens had full control over their environment. No disruption, no interference, only continued support if needed. Mara knew that leaving was necessary. Their presence could be both helpful and intrusive if extended too long. Before boarding the shuttle, Mara projected a final thought to Xyler. We will return one day, and when we do, we will come as friends, as partners, and as learners. Xyler's eyes glowed with gentle approval. We await your return, Captain. Together, we will achieve more than either species could alone. As the shuttle lifted off, Mara gazed down at the canyon, the energy network glowing faintly below. She thought of the journey they had taken, from uncertainty and doubt, through careful observation and moral decision-making, to understanding and partnership. Humans had shown that true greatness came not from power, but from thoughtfulness, courage, and the willingness to learn from others. Ravi tapped her shoulder. Captain, look at the view. Lyra, it's breathtaking from up here. Mara smiled. Yes, it is. And it's more than just beautiful, it's a reminder of what we can achieve. Today, we've left a mark not by taking life, but by preserving it, by understanding it, and by showing care. Dr. Ford added, this is the kind of story humanity will tell for generations. Not of battles fought, but of choices made, of wisdom shown, and life saved through intelligence and empathy. Mara nodded, feeling the truth of her words. Humans were capable of incredible things, and in this vast galaxy, their greatest power was their mind, their heart, and their moral courage. As the stars of Lyra stretched across the sky, Mara reflected on what lay ahead. The universe was vast, full of unknown worlds and species, but she felt a quiet confidence. Humanity had shown that it could rise to the challenge, not by conquering, but by understanding, respecting, and working together. The shuttle moved further from the planet, leaving behind the calm hum of the forest and the glowing crystal network. Mara gazed at the distant horizon, thinking of the lessons learned: patience, observation, moral courage, and the power of partnership. She knew that these were the qualities that defined humanity at its best. And in that moment, Mara felt a deep, lasting sense of pride. Humans had truly shined on Lyra, not through strength, but through wisdom, compassion, and the courage to choose the right path, even when it was difficult. The stars beckoned, endless and full of promise. And Captain Mara Ellis knew that humanity's story was just beginning, a story of exploration, friendship, and the boundless potential of the human mind and heart. Somewhere below, Xyler and his people looked up at the shuttle, their forms glowing softly in the moonlight. And somewhere deep inside Mara, a thought settled, stronger than fear or doubt. The universe was vast, but humans were capable of greatness beyond measure, not through force, but through thought, empathy, and understanding. As Lyra disappeared behind the shuttle, Mara whispered softly to her team, "This is just the beginning, and together we will continue to learn, to explore, and to shine." The stars stretched endlessly ahead, and humanity's journey among them had truly begun.